So I have here in this rather unassuming brown box the HP Envy X2 that is a tablet slash laptop. HP is calling it a hybrid PC. Essentially what it is a tablet that slots into a keyboard, so it's kind of like a docking station. As you probably see a lot of people with the iPad going around to have their keyboards attached to them, except this is really set up so that it does kind of convert to a laptop. Anyway, get that aside. Yeah, let's do the opening here. So this is the box it comes in, and as I open it right now, you can't see anything. It's just some foam protection here. So let me get that out of the way. And here is the Envy X2 itself. So it's in some plastic wrapping. So let me just take it out of here so you can get a better view. And slide off the plastic. Oh, don't want to drop it there. So this has a really nice solid feel. That's my first impression. It's really hard there. So it's all aluminum body, so you would expect that. So here you actually see a camera, and that's on the back of the tablet. Looks like we have volume control down here, and the power button, it's kind of hidden here at the top. So let's open it up and see what it looks like. And well, it looks like a laptop. Actually, it looks a lot like kind of like some of the other HP Envies that they have, and even the EliteBook series, where it's got black bezel around the screen, silver keyboard, chiclet style keys. So it's full-size keys. You can see island style. They're separated there. Get the touchpad built in here. So let's see how removing the actual tablet works. So you can see the Windows logo down here indicating Windows 8. Yep, that's pretty easy. And it just comes off, releases from the latch. Let's turn this thing on. It's nice and light, really not much heft to it. Let's see what happens when we turn it on. Yeah. Seems like as I push the power button on the back, we're going to see that it's not got any battery life. So the first one I have to do is actually charge it, and let's just test putting it back in. Yeah, it just goes right back in. It's simple to do. Let's look on the bottom just for kicks, and you'll see that you can't get to the battery. It's sealed in there, but let's look at the ports we get. So here I am on the left side. You get a full-size HDMI. I got a USB. I'm not sure if that's 2.0 or 3.0. Hopefully 3.0, but honestly not really sure. And then over on the right side, get another USB, and I do believe it's USB 2.0, sorry, because there's no indication it's super speed. And then there's the power connector here. So speaking of power connector, let's get out the adapter and take a look at that, see how big it is. That's in this box here. That's great. It's nice and small, which is really important, I think, for something that's supposed to be highly mobile and easy to carry around. So this thing is really, it can't weigh more than just maybe 4 or 5 ounces. It's super light, and it's got like kind of that Apple adapter where you just pop out the prongs. And so obviously the thing we're gonna have to do first with this is actually charge it. So once we've done that, we'll come back and take a look at the Envy X2 some more. The overall build quality of the HP Envy X2 is excellent. It has an aluminum shell case, so if I knock on it, you certainly can hear that it's very solid. Let's just take a tour of what you actually get on this top of this, which is the back of the tablet screen. So down here is the volume adjuster. So it's just a rocker, plus, minus, turns volume up and down when you're in tablet mode, or even in the regular PC mode. And here is the camera that's on the back, the higher resolution camera, and then the power button here is, there you see it, it's the way to turn this thing on. So the hinge mechanism down here is part of the docking connector itself. So it's very solid. It's actually a very solid hinge, and it's actually kind of, so opening it with one hand here, it is actually, as you can see, pretty hard to open with one hand. You really have to use two. So that's a good sign. It shows that this thing's not gonna wobble around too much. Maybe a little bit, but not too much if you're on a train, airplane, or well, in an earthquake or something like that. The actual docking connector itself is nice and solid, so you can easily or be rest assured that you're not going to crush this thing if you put it in your backpack. And just overall, a nice look. If you look around, it's I guess a little bit MacBook-like maybe, but it's got the black bezel around the screen, and it's got the black keys and the all aluminum silver look. And again, I'll demonstrate the latch later, but the latch to pop this thing out is located right here below that Windows insignia you see there. So overall, this is a high quality premium build laptop, or tablet as you may call it, or hybrid PC as HP is calling it. And it's going to last you. It probably needs a sleeve to make sure that you don't get scratches in the case and everything, but you know, you can bump it around and it's not going to break down on you. It's very well built. Let's look a little more closely at how the docking connector works for the HP Envy X2. So here I have the tablet portion and the docking station over here that has the keyboard built in. Now, if you look on the bottom side of this, you'll see that there's 3 different slots here. So they're all going to line up with what you see on the HP docking connector here. So it uses magnets, and you can kind of see them there, to help guide it in, and it's really a simple process. The key is to make sure that the window logo is lined up with this center portion here. So you just kind of like put it in there and boom. It really feels pretty effortless, and you hear that little click as it locks in. There's not much guessing to it. You can do it with one hand. Really easy to do, real nice solution, and once it's in there, it's nice and secure. You can, well, you can pick it up holding the screen and it's not going to fall out. So nice and tight connection. I think a nicely done solution there. Some people might be wondering how far back the screen of the Envy X2 actually tilts when it's in this docking connector, so I'll just kind of demonstrate that. It does not go back all the way. And one interesting feature is that as you push the screen back, it kind of rises up. The docking connector rises up because the screen is actually going below the hinge there, or the hinge of the docking connector pushes down, so it rises up there. So you've got kind of a sloped keyboard here, and it's easier to see if I turn it to the side there. You'll see that it slopes from front to back quite significantly actually, but it's actually ergonomically friendly. And the furthest back it goes is a better view from this angle there. That's as far back as it goes. So you know, if you like to tilt your screen back really far, I don't know why, but some people do, then that might be slightly annoying, but for the most part, since you can view it, it's an IPS screen, so the viewing is good from any angle, and you can view it straight on easily, so not too bad at all. The Envy X2 keyboard is a full-size keyboard. It's chiclet style design, so meaning all the keys are separate in island style. It's pretty comfortable to type on, but it's not up to par with, say, a laptop keyboard because the key travels not too deep. There's pretty shallow press there, so if you're used to using, say, like a ThinkPad that has a nice deep travel, then it's not going to feel quite the same. Another disadvantage is that I found that some of the keys don't register quite as well as they should. If you hit on the right side, the space bar doesn't seem to pick up the press of the key. Not sure why, so you really need to hit it in the center. And sometimes I've had some issues with other keys as well. So I mean, that's you kind of have to keep looking at the screen to make sure that the keystroke is actually registered, and it might just be a slight bug that could be fixed with like just a firmware update. So we'll see about that. Maybe it's just this model that I have as well. Maybe others aren't experiencing this, but it's what I've experienced myself. The touchpad is a nice size, and you can do a lot of Windows 8 gestures, like just throwing the screen from side to side to get to different tiles, and all the multi-touch gestures you would expect that you can actually do on the screen, you can do on the touchpad as well. And it's a click pad, so anywhere you push, you can register a left click. But if you want to register a right click, you have to push down the lower right side. So overall, the keyboard is decent, but as you would expect, it's not quite the same as if you had a regular laptop that had a deeper amount of space to work with, and it's a docking station as well, so due to the thinness, some compromises probably had to be made. Let's take a look around at the ports you get on the HP Envy X2. So on the tablet itself, you have right here a micro SD card slot. You just have to take out the dummy card there. And then the only other thing we have is the headphone jack, and these are all docking connectors right here. And on the other side, there is absolutely nothing. On the back side, you of course have the camera, but that's not a port per se. So on the docking station itself, we have more, of course. So on the left side, you get a USB 2.0 and an HDMI port there, and also a headphone jack as well. So let's rotate around to the right side, and here you get a full SD card slot reader, and then you get another USB 2.0 port, and then this is the power jack right here, and that just fits right here with the adapter. So one thing that I'd like to do is weigh in the HP Envy X2 here so you can get an idea for how much it's going to weigh you down. We put it in the backpack. So I'm first of all going to take the entirety of the device. So this includes the tablet and the keyboard. Weigh it. So it's weighing in at 3 pounds, 1.8 ounces there. So just over 3 pounds. Now let's take the travel adapter. It's be placed on top here. Sure it's kind of all there. And it adds about 5 ounces or so. It's very lightweight, so obviously it's not going to weigh you down too much extra. It's nice and small as well. Now I'm gonna kind of weigh in just the tablet portion here. So to do that, I have to open it up and then pop it out of its dock. The first safe way to do that is of course by putting it down. Now if I put just the tablet on the scales, 1 pound, 9.2 ounces, so about 1.6 pounds, which is what HP claims. So not too bad, heavier than the iPad, but as you'd expect because it is a larger screen. Just wanted to give an idea of the IPS screen on the HP Envy X2. So here I just have a picture of the Grand Canyon that is on the Grand Canyon National Park Flickr site. So if you look at it straight on as we are now, the colors hold true. Then if you rotate, you'll see that the colors still hold the same. So this is as an IPS screen should be, so that no matter which viewing angle you're looking at it from, the colors are nice and crisp and they look as you would if they were going to be looked at from straight on. So pretty nice. And if you have a widescreen, it's especially good for panoramic pictures. I'll also note if you rotate, the screen is tall. It's not so good for photos, but it's good for text. If you're reading a long document, for instance, it's very easy to fit the entire newspaper article on one page. So overall, the screen's really nice, and it only weighs slightly more than an iPad, so you're getting a bigger screen for not much more weight. So one thing that's cool about the HP Envy X2 and the Windows 8 OS is the fact that it's very easy to navigate between tiles and kind of use the touch screen on the Envy X2 to slide over and see other programs. So you can either do touch screen to see what other applications I have and tiles are available, or if you want to use the touchpad, you have the same kind of throw mechanism, so I can easily slide back and forth using the touchpad, and it's the same motion as you would use on the screen itself. So it's you know, you have those dual features there. So if you don't want to reach up and touch the screen, you can just use the touchpad for the same type of usability. And the touchpad is a nice size, obviously not as big as the screen, but it is big enough and wide enough so that you can throw stuff pretty easily, and it is pretty responsive as well. So a lot of people are wondering about the performance of the Envy X2, and it's using a new Intel Clover Trail Atom-based processor. So I ran Geekbench and got the score of 1358. And I should actually mention the specific processor that this MBX2 has is the 1.8 gigahertz dual-core Intel Atom Z2760. Okay, so how does that stack up against processors of the past? So I've got the Geekbench score browser open here, and if I jumped, well, I've already jumped down to the 1300 score range, and you'll see there's some processors that achieve the same score or around that score, like the Intel Atom D525, the Intel Core Solo T1400, so, and the Pentium 4, so all our processors, you know, 2 or 3 years back. And how does that compare to, say, like the iPhone 5, which has a new processor? It's 1601 for the iPhone 5. So the iPhone 5 processor actually scores higher than what you get with this NVX2. So that's a little disappointing, but nonetheless, it's still able to allow you to have multiple browser tabs open. You can play 1080p video, and it doesn't really, it doesn't drag you down. For anything that you're going to do with the tablet, it's fine. Maybe gaming's not going to be on par with like the iPad or the iPhone 5 even, but I don't know how many people are really going to be gaming on a tablet, to be honest, but you know, I'm sure there are some. So on the whole, I really like the HP NVX2. I think it's a great blend between a tablet and a laptop. So if you wanted a tablet and you wanted a laptop and you wanted the full OS, this is a great option. It's got a full version of Windows 8, so you're not dealing with a watered down OS like Android or iOS. You can do everything you could normally do on a Windows machine. And it's very easy to take the tablet out. As I've shown earlier, you can easily just pop the tablet out and take it with you, and it doesn't weigh too much. It's about the same as an iPad. The keyboard and the docking station is good. You can easily type on it. It's not as good as some other laptops, and it could be improved upon, but for the most part, it's usable. You get a nice selection of ports, so like the two USB 2.0 ports, you can plug in different accessories to use with this. And it's just overall a nicely made machine. It's very solid. It's made of aluminum, so it's not going to break. There's no overheating issues. It's silent because there's no fan. Now, as far as using this as your main laptop, well, you're limited on space because of the 64 gigabyte SSD that's in there. Also, the performance of the Intel Atom Clover Trail processor it's okay, but if you're doing some more demanding stuff, you might find that it's going to slow you down a bit. So I don't know if it's going to replace your laptop. It could if you're not very demanding and you're just using a browser or whatnot. But for those who are used to using a 15-inch laptop with the latest Intel, you know, Core i5, Core i7 processor, it's certainly nowhere near as fast as that. But it is a very interesting machine, and it's very nice. And you know, if you get the money to spend on it, and you're looking for a combined tablet and laptop, then I can definitely recommend it to you.